怒りを叫べ悲しみを叫べ魂を叫べ今ここで叫べ
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I'm Sean, bearded Capolitan.
I am Jerry Robo Tengu Smith. How's it going, man? It feels like it was just yesterday that we were recording our last episode.
It was yesterday, sir. It was 3 days ago.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This week has been going by so very slow.
Oh, I got the exact opposite. I'm on vacation, so of course it's flying the fuck by.
That's right. Yeah.
Which
that
is a
sucks.
good thing, but yeah, it's like, wow, it's almost Friday. I only got 3 days left.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you've got a convention you're going to. I guess when we release this, though, you had already gone to the convention, but
Yeah.
well, whatever.
But yeah, super excited to be going back to a convention,
Yeah.
to feeling good about it, feeling safe.
Yeah,
Because,
for sure.
again, I mean, there's no guarantees. Disease was rampant before COVID-19 hit at conventions. The con crud was always a real thing. But it's like, I feel like I know from the jump, once we realized how serious this thing was getting, I was immediately taking precautions. So it was well over a year of staying away, you know what I mean? Because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it took a long time, and I earned it, motherfucker. While grateful to have worked, because I know a lot of people were out of work during 2020 because of it. I was fortunate to work, but I was working around people who didn't believe in this thing, who were refusing to wear masks.
Yeah, my boy was essential.
Yeah, I was essential, just not paid like one.
I know, right? What the fuck?
But nah, I ain't gonna lie. For what I do, I'm actually paid pretty good. But you know what I mean? It's just what I'm getting out of that. I was like,
Yeah.
for me, it feels like a lot of like, hey, shit sucked. Shit sucked working. I'm not gonna go off about, I'm not one of those like I can't breathe wearing a mask. You can breathe perfectly fucking fine, but doesn't make it comfortable when you do manual labor. No, and
Right.
yeah. So I'm excited to go back to my first convention, spend money I don't need to, wear fanciful costumes, and hopefully get a picture or two taken.
Yeah.
And I'm actually got at least two because a lot of them don't want. I think I might have talked about this before. How this convention has rubbed a few of my cosplay friends the wrong way, and but I got two friends, part of my group, who are coming, and I literally only ever get to see them at conventions. So I'm super excited to just be able to see them, if nothing else. And one thing, like if you ain't from the South, and I know places are hot all over, but we're in a special kind of hell in the summer, right? And I don't think I talked about what our plan was. I think it only came up literally like the day we recorded last time.
Well, yeah, because I think after we had podcasts, we talked about it, and you told me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the casual cosplay, doing hey, we're gonna do our DC heroes, and it was the guy who does Red Hood, and he does like full metal helmet, Red Hood, the leather jacket,
Right.
and he was like, I don't know, it's too fucking hot. Like we are here in Arkansas, there are days we're hitting in the upper 90s already.
Right.
And he was like, I'm thinking about just wearing my helmet with my swim gear and some flip flops. I'm like, that sounds like an amazing idea, actually. And we're piecing together, and so me and him said that, and another guy who actually wasn't going to go wanted to do Nightwing. He calls it Beach Bum Nightwing,
Perfect.
Because he already had like I guess Robin swim shorts, and
Yeah.
yeah, and like he said, I'm gonna come just so we can do this. So Saturday they're both gonna be there. I'm doing Grifter, originally from Image Comics Wildcats, and until they got bought out by DC, and so he is actually a DC hero, and I'll be debuting him as a in my beach gear, my Hawaiian shirt look. It'll
Hmm.
gonna be a lot of fun. Although, depending how long they stick around, I'm probably gonna bring the rest of Grifter's costume and just suffer for a few hours in like the full costume.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
and I can't wait. And as fun as that's gonna be, I'm really looking forward to Sunday where I'm gonna break out my Jedi cosplay.
Yeah. This will be the big debut of
Yeah,
the Jedi outfit.
absolutely. Yeah, my own OC character, so I'll have fun also trying to explain a convoluted origin, as well as the little things I'm gonna do just to piss off the quote unquote fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna have like a female in your group and make her like the main character of your storyline? Is that what you're doing to piss people off?
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell them about everything I can do, but she did it
Yeah.
without any training.
Yeah.
She did it as being like immediately perfect from the get go. Yeah, so basically she's playing Luke Skywalker.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
That damn Mary Sue Luke Skywalker.
Wow. Yeah.
Uh,
Ugh.
but like,
Can't get enough of those real Star Wars fans.
oh
Let
yeah.
me tell you.
Uh, Honestly, like other than just my own little thing, the biggest thing really is just that like I'm purposely making my lightsaber yellow to
Yeah.
see if anyone says about Ray instead of actually knowing the actual history of the colors of the sabers having the
Right.
different classifications. Like,
Yeah.
you just watch the movies, okay? But you want to come and gatekeep? Go fuck yourself.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But again, yeah, just I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Just to yeah, to be able to do that, just to be at the show, so see who all I might bump into. I don't even know. Maybe I have some friends I don't know are going that I'll get to run into. Hoping to find at least one nice. My goal is one nice piece of merch. Be it a nice figure, a nice statue, or something,
Hmm.
and to get some Kappa drawings done in my sketchbook. Add to it.
Oh yes.
Uh,
The infamous Kappa sketchbook. I am very upset that I didn't think of that. But now I'm gonna have to start a Tengu sketchbook.
Dude, you absolutely
Is
have
all
to.
that means.
And that, which also means you have to mail the book to me so I can contribute to
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or I'll just hand deliver it to you whenever I come to visit.
it. With a hug? With a
Maybe.
hug? Oh, okay. Hell yeah. All right. Enough rambling about my
No,
forthcoming weekend because I'll be doing plenty of that after the
oh
fact.
man, no, I look forward to living vicariously through you and hearing about how it went and everything. They apparently have a convention going on this weekend up here. And I don't know, I wasn't really like planning on it because I didn't really hear that much about it, but
Yeah.
Donnie Cates was supposed to come, and then due
Oh.
to a family emergency, he canceled. So
Oh.
at the same time, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm not super sad that I'm not going then.
Right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, I don't know. This week has been like so rough. I just feel like I want to fucking nap all weekend.
I know that feeling.
So, yeah, it's just been real slow. It's been so hot up here too, man. It's like 75 degrees today. Jesus. Like
Oh,
I
you
just
poor
can't.
baby. No, I'm not gonna be that guy.
Uh,
I hate when people say
yeah.
that. I'm being 100% joking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone
No.
suffers in different ways. It's
No, no. I was definitely I was just joking.
oh
Yeah.
fuck you then.
Yeah. It's been really nice up here. I'm sorry. We are actually recording this towards the end of what's 17th today, so it's E3 is finally over, and we actually wanted to do this just to talk about any other like wrap up news for E3, which honestly there wasn't really that much more afterwards. So we have some other things that we kind of want to go over, but
Yeah.
Nintendo had a pretty decent day, right? Um, they
Yeah,
they
yeah,
they announced some pretty cool shit. I know one of the big things that you're probably not hype about, but I am hype about because I finally got to play the game and I have a Switch now. But Breath of the Wild 2, they finally have a trailer for it, and it
yeah,
looks fucking great.
yeah. No, it
So,
like yeah, I'm sure we've talked about it
oh yeah.
before how Zelda died for me when it went 3D, but I can acknowledge the success. It's not for me, but a lot of people have loved the franchise and what it's gone to.
Yeah.
And like I haven't seen, and there's always excitement when Zelda comes out, a new Zelda does, but Breath of the
Oh,
Wild,
what? There's more than 16 pixels in this game. Gross.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Don't fuck with me. This guy hate Field of Death jumping. Just because those damn platforming went 3D and all of a sudden Sean's old man eyes can't tell depth perception. Don't rub this shit in my face. No, but what I was getting to, fuckface,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Breath of the Wild was a fucking phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like that, a console seller. As a lot of early, if
Hmm.
Zelda is early on a console, as usually is the case, but like, man, I
Hmm.
mean, people were hyped for the Switch anyway, but I swear sales had to have skyrocketed when that
Oh,
dropped.
oh yeah. I think it was like I can't honestly remember what their launch games were for the Switch, but
Yeah.
I know fucking Breath of the Wild has to be one of their best selling ones. Like it's just such a staple in the Nintendo games, and it always has been for like every single generation of their console. They've just had such a phenomenal
No,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
know yeah a lot of people very outspoken about the Zelda fandom and everything. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, and like a lot of like one of my YouTubers was reviewing was kind of going over the E3 part when he talked about this. It's like now like what we saw in the trailer, it opened with like Link soaring in the air or
Yeah,
falling. We don't know falling with style or
following the
flying.
style. Yeah,
Yeah, uh, how he kind of pointed out, because and we talked about it. I think already was the we're getting that Skyward Sword remake. I think next
yeah. Hmm.
month actually.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he wonders, like, he was just bringing up, like, wow, the Skyward Sword is remaster is coming out, and
Mhm.
they're now showing Breath of the Wild how, like, looks like there might be some, like, floating continents and stuff, so, like, which is very
Mhm.
Skyward Sword. So they're
Mhm.
like, man, the timing can't be coincidental. You know what I mean? Like, they're kind of
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
remember, like, I guess the interest, like, I know Skyward Sword had a very mixed reception, and especially
Hmm.
in retrospective, a lot of people kind of
Hmm.
went like, I guess, shitting on it a bit.
Right.
But like, it might be a very well timed kind of like, hey, yeah, so we had these elements, and now we maybe they perfected them or made it a little more interesting, hopefully, for what they're gonna do
Hmm.
with Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't played every Zelda game, but is this the first one that is a direct sequel? Like, they have
Tech,
ever had like, yeah, go ahead.
I would say technically no, but
Okay.
um, but this is as far as like same engine sequel.
Hmm.
Well, no. Okay, no, actually, but okay, because Nintendo had Legend of Zelda, and then they had Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, which is
Hmm.
supposed to have been a sequel, but they completely changed up the gameplay style. But
Right,
it did have
right.
part 2. And, I mean, Majora's Mask is a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time. But again, it's
Well, like very vaguely.
until you get, I
Um,
know, but it's
yeah,
always a timeline, the Zelda timeline thing. But like, yeah, so this
yeah.
this
I,
was now that as I'm saying it, and like, yeah,
mhm.
like you're saying, like, yeah, the more I'm thinking on it, this might very well be the official unofficial like
Hmm.
first full blown sequel. Like,
Right.
this isn't a variant Use a term we'll get to here in a little while.
Yeah,
Link. This isn't the alternate, a branched off timeline because everything is all fucky in the timeline. I
yeah.
owned the Hyrule Historia at one point, and they had the timeline, and I read it, and I'm still confused. So
Yeah, oh yeah. I've watched so many videos on like how everything could be connected and stuff like that, and it's very interesting to think about, especially whenever you get to that branch off with like Majora's Mask and stuff like that.
right,
Because I mean, like just the theories that people have on that game alone are pretty wild and really cool, and honestly, kind of build that game a bit up like even more for me. And yeah, it's just like I haven't known one to like kind of just continue the story with like the same basically, the same I guess you could argue like universe stuff, but it's like almost same mechanics and everything. I think they showed a few new like tools and stuff like that it'll be using. But I mean, it's essentially the same engine as Breath of the Wild, right? Same art
yeah,
style and everything like that. And usually, in between games, at least, well, I mean, aside from Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, like they've changed up their art styles and stuff like that.
right, exactly.
So
So
yeah, it's just kind of really really interesting, and I'm really interested to see where they're gonna go with it and everything.
oh yeah, I think with the system they already had implemented into the first one, it's already a very
Mhm.
vast game. Uh, Major complaints, not major complaints. One of the few complaints I've heard was, I guess, how sparse the world is. Like it is a big open map,
Mhm.
but that also led to a lot of like kind of empty space moments. So
Yeah.
I think like the improvements they could bring to it would probably, hopefully, is like kind of they were saying like fill out the world a little more, and like,
Mhm.
but if flying is going to be like a major factor into the sequel and going up to Sky Islands in a sense, hopefully they'll like, yeah, that'll not having to be as big. It'll feel, those sections will feel a lot more, a lot more occupied and full and a lot more action to it. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I at least top of the head, that's definitely something like that sounds like they would hopefully improve upon. But again,
Mhm.
not having played it, yeah, I'm still looking forward to watching. I'm guaranteed at least two of my YouTubers I know will probably have full Let's Plays of it, so I'll get to see the game,
Mhm,
that
mhm.
way.
And before anyone like brings it up, I don't technically count Hyrule Warriors as
Yeah,
like
yeah,
in the main frame because I know they had two things of Hyrule Warriors, which I guess technically the second one is based off of Breath of the Wild because it's like a kind of a prequel to Breath of the Wild with the Calamity and everything.
right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a fucking Dynasty Warriors game, guys. Come on. Yeah. Um, so some other news that they had,
Yep.
other than that, there is a new Metroid game that I know a lot of people were excited about. It
No.
was Metroid Dread, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I honestly haven't ever sat down now that I can think about it and played a Metroid game like in my entire life.
Oh no.
No, now that I didn't even think about it till we started talking about this because like honestly, the one I would have played was the first 3D one that they had
Prime.
on GameCube. So it's kind of funny that they're going back to 2D on this one,
Well,
which
t-
yeah,
tell me if you've heard this before.
okay.
Metroid died for me when it went 3D. Honestly,
Oh yeah,
I've only played the original Nintendo one and the one on Super Nintendo.
okay.
So this is actually appealing because even though like Metroid hadn't really stuck high in my like my beloved games list, when that gameplay merged with Castlevania, it made one of my favorite genre series, what they call
Yeah,
Metroidvania style games, the
right.
RPG exploration side scroller. And so this one, I'm really actually looking forward to it. I might actually pick up this. This will be the first Metroid game I've picked up in what, 4 or 5 console generations.
Nice. Yeah. I mean,
Looks
honestly, I am kind of tempted. to just pick it up.
Yeah, because it's like if it now, granted, Metroid isn't it is. I had RPG elements. I don't know how much of it's going to go into as far like leveling up, but it's still the side scroller style. I've always been very much about puzzle platforming, backtracking to find gear and stuff, and it's very fun. It's just I don't know what I want for, but in this case, it is first person view stuff is also very hit and miss for me. The ones
Yeah.
I love, but the other ones I don't really get into, So,
Hmm.
yeah, Prime was never that for me, and never did play Other M on. I think that's what it was on Wii or Wii U.
Hmm.
The one that Team Ninja, or Ninja Gaiden fame took over. So, eh.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's had a pretty big fan base and everything. So,
Oh yeah. Oh
um,
no, for sure. Again, like just because I don't like it doesn't mean there's not a huge fan base. And while
yeah.
this isn't the Metroid 4 news, I think a lot of people are looking or hoping for. I still think that's pretty damn cool because apparently this game, at least the title maybe,
Hmm.
was announced years ago, and
Hmm.
it's finally got like an official announcement or something. So
Oh,
moving
yeah.
forward with that.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that it had been announced quite a while ago. That's pretty cool.
I don't remember it. Just again, one of my YouTubers that kind of
Yeah.
mentioned it when he was going over the game. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean that's cool. I got a lot. I got a lot out of everything they announced as far as that might be a purchase. That's the one for me for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it looks awesome. I love the new look of the costume as well. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
I love the color variation that they've done.
yeah. Which I believe is a like a stylized after one of the Prime games. Where I think
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it's like part 3 or something. She got like the dark armor and had
Hmm.
like, cause again, didn't play, but video games, my life. I love video games, so I
Hmm.
keep up, even if I don't really like
Yeah.
want to play the games.
Right.
So I think it's a call to that, which I don't know if it's a tie-in or anything to the storyline, but
Hmm.
it'd be kind of cool if this is kind of a side chapter before the next Prime, which we got a
Mm.
logo like 3 years ago or something like that, and it just says like in
Nah.
production.
Hmm.
So that was, so if it is a side in the story, it'd be kind of cool because hey, at least you get something, even if it's not the style you're used to playing, it might be something you can, tide you over, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty badass, and I do look forward to it. Now, I thought that they mentioned something about this being the end of her story, but
Oh,
I don't know. I honestly also kind of feel like the popularity of this
hmm
um is going to be so big that they're probably just going to have to like keep doing games, right?
I would,
Like
yeah.
you're yeah.
The problem is, Metroid Other M was very poorly
Mhm.
received, not for its gameplay, but for its story. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that made them kind of reconsider what's during the tape because like they did put out a 3DS like kind of a multiplayer, almost kind of
Mm.
versus game or something. I can't remember what it's called right now, but like, it had Metroid in the name, but it wasn't like a Metroid traditional Metroid game, and that's like
Mhm.
all we've gotten for Metroid since the mid to early 3DS era. And
Mm.
so this is a big return, which is great. And like I said, I feel like because they've said like we're working on 4, it's coming. And they're it's
Yeah.
like we had. I think I honestly now I'm trying to think if I remembered hearing it right that like, they almost kind of had to revamp it. Like they were
Hmm.
making progress, and then kind of looked at it and was like, yeah, this isn't up to par. We got to kind of rebuild it from scratch or something. I want to say there's been a delay like that. So, but
Yeah.
Metroid Prime 4 is coming eventually.
Nice.
And what if
Yeah.
that's the end of Samus? It might be, or maybe just Samus's character.
Yeah. That'd be
Uh,
kind of interesting for them to build up Samus Aran for so long and then like give us a different Metroid after or a different character after that.
right? Yeah, you never know. But
Yeah.
again, I'll be keeping an eye on this one to see.
Yeah.
It might be one I scoop up depending on when I get it, will probably determine on how many other games are out and I'm wanting to play. But yeah,
Yeah.
if it's and honestly, probably wait for it to go on sale a little bit, But
Mm-hmm. I feel
yeah,
that.
I don't know about a $60 purchase because I'm just not that deep into Metroid, but it looks fun, and because it is a callback to the old days, it is appealing for me at least.
Yeah. Um, so the last thing that I really have, and this was probably my favorite thing that like came out yesterday, just because it was like the greatest fucking introduction trailer
It,
ever,
yeah, it
in my
really
opinion.
was.
And it's mostly because it's, kind of a reference for that specific game that I don't think a lot of people really pay attention to anymore,
Right.
in my opinion. I don't know. I don't see a lot of people buzzing about Tekken anymore. But they announced Kazuya Mishima from Tekken
Yep.
in Smash Bros. Or earlier this week, and it was the greatest thing ever. Because if you know anything about him, you know that the game initially starts off, and the whole feud between him and his dad Heihachi, like kind of came to this end when they fought each other. Heihachi beat him and then fucking took him to the edge of a cliff and threw him like basically into a volcano.
Which is actually a callback to what he did to him as a child.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
whole lion throwing their cubs over
Mhm.
the cliff and making them come back, and,
Right.
and yeah, and even after so that at the end of Tekken 1, that's how
Hmm.
it ended. And what? Oh no,
No, so it was him as a kid,
yeah,
and then I think at some point Kazuya threw Jin off of a cliff,
yeah.
and then I think at one point Kazuya threw Heihachi off of a cliff. There was just a lot of,
There's been a lot,
but like,
because Hayachi was supposed to be dead. I think after 3. And then he
right.
climbed back up, but then but then because he fell, got thrown in one of the endings. Either way,
Hmm.
whether they're canonical or not, because you can get
Hmm.
all the endings, all the fighters,
Oh
cliffs.
yeah.
People were thrown off cliffs.
So like this trailer starts off, and like it's really dark at first, and then you look like you can see someone like being carried, and like they look knocked out, and it's fucking Ganon,
Yeah,
and Kazuya's just dragged like walking over to a cliff and tosses him off, and then it immediately goes to him doing this to literally every character in Smash Bros. And it was just like hysterical. And then of course, they were showing like a lot of his move sets.
yeah,
They even showed like he's got his demon form, because they have the demon gene.
yeah.
He's got a looks like a lot of his classic moves and everything. And then I guess because they showed Heihachi in there at one point, which honestly was one of my favorite characters to play, him and Yoshimitsu.
Okay.
Um, but I think Heihachi is just going to be like a support character, from what I gathered. Because if they put him in the game, I'd like freak the fuck out. But
Well, here's my thing,
uh,
and I
yeah.
don't know for sure. Like, cause again, Smash Brothers is not my jam. But when I saw integrating Tekken, because like the
Hmm.
announcement was Smash Brothers and Tekken, not just like
Hmm.
Mishima or I mean Kazuya.
Hmm.
Listing. I do wonder if there will be other characters because the big thing about this is too for me because again I don't care about Smash, but Tekken is my fighting game, and it like Kazuya his moves, which I'm sure it's the Smash Brothers controls, but
Hmm.
they really fused his fight style into the game. And yeah, like you said,
Hmm.
him going into his devil mode, and even like full power. Like I guess that was probably a super where he just had all the energy beams and stuff and just sent them flying.
Right.
But yeah, then they showed like Heihachi, but he was like kind of facing off with him. But again, I'm not really sure how
Hmm.
support characters work, but I know they are a thing.
Hmm.
It would actually be interesting if this was like kind of instead of just a one random fighter, if we actually might get other Tekken characters in there.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
to my knowledge, this is the first additional fighter from a
Hmm.
franchise that's never been on a Nintendo console.
What about Ryu? because they have Ryu from Street Fighter.
Street Fighter's been on Nintendo consoles. It started
Okay.
on home consoles on Nintendo.
Yeah, it
Tekken,
goes to tell you how much I know about
yeah,
fucking Street Fighter.
right, right. No, but like Tekken has started on PlayStation and eventually went to Xbox,
Okay.
but it's never been on a Nintendo console. So like
Ah,
if they can port a Tekken game onto Switch, I'd buy that. I'd be down for that.
mhm.
And like I just
Yeah.
wonder if it's just like hey we're trying something different because Tekken's been it's been in the fighting game scene for a while, but it's
Mhm.
nowhere. I like you say you don't really hear talk about it, and I think that's kind
Mhm.
of fair. It's just not really talked about as much because I think I could go on and on about Tekken and
Oh yeah.
how it's changed, and I think
Mhm.
that's due to some of the what's happened recently with the game franchise. But like a crossing over with Smash Brothers and then maybe coming onto the platform for the first time.
Mhm.
I mean, that could be a shot in the arm for it.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Uh,
It's definitely interesting, right?
Yeah, and of course, like
Mhm.
you said, him just tossing all the fighters over the edge,
Mhm.
topped off with him just carrying Kirby one handed,
Yeah.
throwing him over the edge, then kind of like looking over like he's watching him fall or looking for him. Then you see Kirby in the background flying up. Kirby's the only one that
Yeah.
lived because he is the true monster of that game franchise.
And one of my favorite things about when they add a character is later they reveal what Kirby's form of them is, and I can't fucking wait.
Oh, he has to have Kazuya hair, or
Yeah,
maybe a
yeah,
suit. No, him in
yeah.
his devil suit would be very cool.
Yeah. So very fucking perfect. It was definitely the highlight of my day when
Right.
that came out.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we brought it up, and I don't think I could. Again, I can try to look it up real quick, but like,
Mhm.
uh, throwing back to the Square Enix stuff, I actually got to see that the Final Fantasy something Origin, which is like it
Mhm.
takes place in the world of Final Fantasy One.
Mhm.
Yeah, they released a demo, which of course at time of recording, I've just been busy. I have not played, but I watched some gameplay footage of it. It's a hack and slash. It's the one that's kind of like Demon Soul, Dark Soul style.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Looks fucking gorgeous. I'll say that.
Yeah. I know.
And the demo is available for PS4, so it's not necessarily
Mhm.
a you have to have a PlayStation 5 to play it just yet because those are still, at least in our area, still can't no one can get a hold of one.
Right.
But it looks it looks interesting as far as what it could be, but
Mhm.
just kind of my thoughts on it. Like as I played through the demo, you got these characters who you got the. I do like that with the hack and slash, which like 15 didn't do it, but like you can
Mhm.
your gear changes on your character as you get the different armor and stuff, and I thought that was really cool. And there's like kind of like class trees and builds into it,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and they had a and it was what was really cool. It was like we were waiting for the line, which we didn't get it, but the end of the demo, you take on Garland, who is the first
Oh,
boss of Final Fantasy One, and who ends up
yeah,
being the end boss of Final Fantasy One. And
yeah.
like seeing him in like fully rendered 3D boss mode, and already just like saying he is chaos, was like whoa. Okay, so this is truly in the because kind of like with Zelda and timelines. No, very few of the Final Fantasies are connected to each other, other than kind of a
Right.
general connection. So this is officially, yeah, back in the Final Fantasy One timeline, and like it's very cool. The probably biggest negative, and again, we haven't. It's the demo is so many only like maybe an hour long or whatever. Uh, so hopefully the characters will have a bit better personality in the full game because outside of customization and some of the fun combat, man, they are so fucking generic. Like their main character, it may be because you can customize your look. They didn't want to go super extravagant and like how Final Fantasy always makes very unique characters. They didn't want to go overboard, but like your main dude is just a white dude with a short haircut and a serious attitude.
Uh,
And just like
yeah.
I'm a soldier. We're gonna get out there and do this. And he's got two
Right.
buddies who also are just very much all right, let's go. And like, so we'll see. Hopefully, because again, if it's for PS4, I should be able to play it. If not, I will own the game because I, I
Yeah.
have to collect all the physical copies. but
Yeah, I
but
mean, and like I'm not gonna like go out and buy a PS5 for it, but
no,
more than likely they'll probably release it for PC, which I will get it on. If that's
right.
the case.
Yeah, because yeah, he said, and like I said, the videos I was watching, they said, yeah, if you've played Demon Soul, Dark Souls, type of game, they compared it to that,
Hmm.
but I don't. It to me, it looked a little bit more Bloodborne in the aggressiveness. It wasn't. It didn't feel as strategic and slow paced as you have to be with, Demon Souls. It
Hmm.
looked, if you're going to compare it to one of the two, it actually, to me, it came across very much like a Bloodborne. And if anyone out
No.
there like that, that's
Hmm.
Bloodborne style combat in a Final Fantasy world, and I'm sure that'll appeal to somebody.
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely has me intrigued. And yeah, I am more than likely going to have to get it. And honestly, other than 14, that'd be my first Final Fantasy game. Other than was it
14.
uh well, I mean 14, and then what was the Monster Hunter esque one that we got? I don't
Oh,
can't remember.
Crystal Bears, Crystal Hunters. Oh, I'm trying. I know I got it on my shelf.
Crystal Bears.
Yeah,
Crystal Bears seems right.
I, it's literally on my shelf, but I guarantee something's in front of it, so I can't read it. But yeah, I'm literally looking at my Final
uh
Fantasy shelf right now. I can't spot it. Okay, but yeah, yeah, you did play
yeah,
that one
but
because we got
yeah.
lied to. It was a fun game, but
Yeah.
yeah, that game was they promised us Monster Hunter, and it was really more Diablo.
Hmm.
But I had fun. What our time with it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's a definitely a good time. And you could always find like a Final Fantasy game somewhere that, is catered to you, I'm sure. Like
Yeah,
they've got so many of them
right.
at this point. But I mean, seriously, just go pick up 14 if you want to play Final Fantasy because it's the best one. Just saying, it's got the best main character in my opinion.
Oh no,
Um,
not the version. Not if you buy the Tengu version. It's not. You really need the Kappa version if you really want the best protagonist. The one that keeps starting over. The timelines keep resetting.
yes. Exploding. Speaking of exploding timelines,
Yeah.
a
Oh, there's a
show
segue
just
for you.
yeah, I know, right? A show just started on Marvel. I mean, on Marvel, on Disney. Um, Loki has finally come out,
It has.
and I mean, man, we've already seen WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier. Those have come and gone, and now it is time for Loki to start up. We're technically 2 episodes in, so we know spoilers, but we're not going to spoil anybody on this
Right.
episode. We're going to leave that for our wrap up after the series is done, and we'll have like a special spoiler episode. Um, but what are your earliest thoughts so far? Like how are you liking it? Do you have expectations or hopes and dreams of stuff to come out of this? How many times have you thought that Mephisto has been behind something?
Uh, Everybody is Mephisto for one. From Mobius to Loki himself is going to be Mephisto.
I feel it.
No, I'm really enjoying it because again, I really love that Marvel has not been afraid to go to the weird. Even
Yeah. Oh, I
even
know.
when even when certain projects like say, the not the Eternals, that's what's coming out, the Inhumans didn't really
Yes.
pan out for them. It kind of made me
Hmm.
worried about them going deeper. And
Yeah.
I like, everyone liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1. A lot of
Hmm.
people didn't feel the same about 2. I
Hmm.
personally feel some of that was because ego was such a strange concept
Yeah,
that
it's kind of interesting.
I think it made people think more than they wanted to when they just wanted to hear Ooga Chaka again and watch Groot. Uh,
Right.
but like this is getting into the put in a Doctor Who term, the spacey, wacy, timey wimey,
Oh yeah.
kind of fucking madness, which
Hmm.
they have been. We knew they were going to be building towards because of the upcoming like Doctor Strange film and what WandaVision went to. While Falcon Winter Soldier stayed pretty much, like, it felt like a true extension to what we had in the last 10 years. Because it still very much felt like, one of those movies in long form. But like with WandaVision and now Loki, we're really getting into the weird and the what comics can do when they want to take you away from just the street level battles. Even though we went to space, but like, you know what I mean? Is that making sense? Like how it's just like
Oh yeah.
this whole, like, if y'all know the plot that the timeline's been fucked up by Loki in Endgame, and now he's got to fix some shit. Again, without getting into too much detail right now, while we're only 2 episodes in, we'll definitely be given a season breakdown once it's over. Which is, I've been told it's only 6 episodes, so it won't be that long.
Yeah, so like at this point, we're almost halfway through the season.
Yeah,
Which is interesting to think about, huh?
yeah, oh for sure. And it's been really good. Hiddleston is, of course, killing it. You can tell he truly loves being Loki. Uh, oh Lord, Owen Wilson. I almost forgot his name.
Oh yes.
Has had a great rapport with him, and I think they play off each other really well. And as well as just like some of the other, like the Minutemen, the other agents and stuff.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring out because I'm sure you recognize her. But and they've only referred to her as Hunter B-15.
Yeah.
That's Wanmi Musaku.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually what I think her name was Ruby in Lovecraft Country.
Oh Lord, I fell off that show. I never did finish it.
What?
That's right.
No, seriously?
I know, right? I know. Okay, I'm remembering it
Oh,
though. Yeah, yeah. That was her,
oh,
the sister, right? The center.
yes,
That
yes.
was
Oh,
her.
she had
Yeah.
such a good story arc too.
I need to go back because I got like 4 episodes in, and I don't think there's that many more. But like, yeah,
I was
I didn't finish it. I don't
I
not for
was
any real
ooh.
particular reason, but yeah, I didn't finish it. Don't be mad at me, Joe.
uh, oh, I am.
Podcast
We're gonna have
over. We're done. Friendship's
we are
over.
gonna have a talk about this later, young man.
But yeah, yeah.
I don't remember if you mentioned this other actress though, but I was kind of surprised, not super surprised, but like I thought it was kind of cool that they threw her in. Tara Strong
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
was in the second episode.
Did not mention her, but
Um,
yeah, as
yes.
oh, it was her
Oh,
name.
hey, don't spoil it. Don't
Yeah, yeah,
spoil
okay,
it.
okay. But Tara Strong,
Yeah. It
very
was a kind of minute role, but it was pretty great.
right. Okay, okay. I will say it, but
Yeah,
yes, Tara Strong, for those who don't know, has
yeah,
been the voice of damn near every cartoon character you probably ever loved, from
right, right.
Blossom to uh yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, one of the My Little Ponies.
All of the ones you
Yeah,
love.
Blossom for the Powerpuff Girls being one of the big ones. I'm trying to think of the more like popular
Uh,
ones.
yeah.
The My
So
Little Pony.
she's
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. She's been in Teen Titans Go, Fairly Odd
Yeah.
Parents.
Just the list goes
Um,
on.
yeah. Oh yeah. She's done a lot, and I thought that was very cool that they would put her in, and that was Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight
And
Sparkle. Thank you.
yeah, she actually it's kind of funny. She actually played Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd
Yes, she
Parents.
did. Which
Yeah.
I love it when once I discovered this was even a thing, it blew my mind, and I love when people like find out some of their favorite like young boy
Mhm.
characters are usually voiced by women.
Oh yeah, yeah. Speaking of that, she's actually in the newer Ben 10. She plays Ben Tennyson as
Oh,
well.
okay, nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
just a quick side story about this. That kind of how people don't realize it. I once read an interview with the lady that played Ash Ketchum in the American Pokemon
oh right.
show. Once
Hmm.
that show was blowing up, she said she would be like, get on the train, because voice actors, even if they're on a hugely successful show, most people don't know
Hmm.
what they look like unless they're super
Right.
fans. And she could be on the train, and
Hmm.
she'd see like a kid wearing like a Pokemon shirt or something, or some kind of gear, and would just
Yeah.
kind of like lean in a little close and just start talking in Ash's voice. Like, so are you gonna be a Pokemon master? And they're like, get the reaction. I'm sure was priceless. I always thought
Yeah,
that was an adorable story.
that is great.
But yeah, Terrence Strong
Um,
being in there, and again, like, even if the names I aren't all the ones that I know, like every actor,
mm,
every character who's gotten some screen time, in
yeah.
this have been like really good. They're
Yeah.
immediately like nothing tropish, nothing like the same kind of like even we even have like within the this organization that's putting Loki to work. We even
Hmm.
have like the you can almost want to call her like the angry cop boss, but
Hmm.
it's not just a screaming boss like we would see in like Beverly Hills Cop and said 48 hours. Uh,
Right.
you can already tell early on that there was levels to her, and I think
Oh yeah.
this show, like I think I say this every damn time though, but this show has the potential to open up what Marvel, the MCU can be now.
Oh yeah.
That we've moved past just Cap, Iron Man, and Thor.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah. It's so good.
yeah, 'cause as far as like you said, like speculations and what it's leading to,
Hmm.
personally, and I don't remember for sure if we've talked about it on air, but like something Craig has really made the argument, and I fully support that. It makes a lot of sense to where this is going. I'm pretty sure we talked about it in
Hmm.
the Falcon Winter Soldier and Scarlet Witch. Like I'm
Yeah.
truly now on board that I think a lot of these shows is all leading to Young Avengers,
Oh
or
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, and that was one of my biggest hype things. As soon as uh, WandaVision came out,
yeah,
they added the fucking twins. And okay, it's already been long enough. I feel like it's fine to talk about that,
right,
And so, if anyone knows, like the comics, it's Young Avengers is basically like they're a younger group of superheroes that have kind of taken on this mantle of kind of forming themselves as like the next Avengers or something like that, but they're all
right,
like kind of teenage age.
right,
So in WandaVision, they did bring in the twins. And then in Falcon Winter Soldier, they brought in Isaiah Bradley, and then they also brought in his grandson. Now, they didn't really focus a lot on him, but in the comic books, he's the Patriot. So
yeah. Which I
when.
think, as far as that, and I'm pretty sure we brought it up when we talked Falcon Winter Soldier, but just to reiterate it,
Yeah.
because other than him giving Sam some sass whenever he came to see Isaiah,
Mhm.
like I think the important kind of thing to like, hey, don't forget this kid was at the
Yeah.
very end when he brought Isaiah to his section of the Captain America History Museum
Right.
that
Right.
they brought the kid along as well. I can't think of his name, but yeah, who in the comics becomes Patriot. And I think that was
Yeah.
key that he was also
Mhm.
included in that scene.
Right. Yeah.
And
And so like after they essentially his name is Eli
Eli,
Bradley.
thank you.
But after they, introduced them, because like, with just the twins, I was kind of like already starting to speculate.
Right.
But then with Eli being thrown into Falcon Winter Soldier, I was like, is this gonna like cause a thing? So then I was kind of speculating on what we're gonna get from Loki, what we could possibly get. And I think the two biggest theories that we have that could pop up, right, is um, Kid Loki, which I think you brought up in a conversation, which I didn't even honestly think about. Um,
Yeah.
but the big one that I kind of thought of was Iron Lad. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no. I didn't want to get because we don't want to talk about like too much spoilers on it or anything.
Right,
But like, I mean,
right.
within the first episode, which has now been out almost 2 weeks, we've already got the second
Hmm.
episode.
Yeah,
Uh, I guess I can bring up a little bit just the kind of my reasoning for that, and so I can say you
yeah.
can have it
Well,
here,
I mean, you kind of had this speculation before the show started, though.
right? But I think it made it even more clear with it
Hmm.
because in the first episode, Loki does get a hold of because this Loki never got to Endgame, as far or never
Hmm.
got to seeing Thanos,
Right.
meeting his end by the hand of Thanos.
Hmm.
But he got to see the timeline of the original, and he got to see his end. He got to see the destruction, what all happened after the first
Hmm.
Avengers, because this Loki has never seen anything past him getting beat in the first Avengers movie.
Hmm.
And again, it's Loki, but I feel like this is gonna be almost a redemption.
Hmm.
And but I don't think it'll be like again without getting into. I guess I don't want to say too much, until we can really talk
Hmm.
about it until the show's
Hmm.
over and see if I'm right. But yeah, I'm predicting kind of without saying so much, a reincarnation maybe of a
Right.
fresh start for Loki, and I think
Hmm.
Kid Loki would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like, with the ways that like alternate timelines, alternate
Yeah,
universes and stuff work in the comics in general, there's always like different versions and stuff of characters that you can find throughout time. And like it's something that I think would be cool if we saw at some point in this. This is kind of going off, like going out of the Young Avengers speculation,
yeah.
but like they had a version in the comics where Loki was worthy of Mjolnir and he was
Oh,
fucking like ripped and he had the hammer and everything. And I'm like, I want to see that fucking Loki. And I want Tom Hiddleston's face to just be photoshopped over Chris Hemsworth's body. Like, I just, I really like need that in my life. I want that. That would
yeah.
be fucking great. But yeah, my other like, and honestly, like a young Loki would make more sense than the other character I was thinking of prior to
Uh-huh.
the show,
Right.
which was Iron Lad. And my whole reasoning for Iron Lad is because, so it, it it's kind of a weird point, right? Whenever you're talking speculation with people that have read comics, because they kind of have this insight that people that just watch the shows don't have.
Right.
So, occasionally it could kind of turn into spoilers, which, you have mentioned about like having conversations with our friends at Kapow
Yeah.
about WandaVision whenever it was happening. But so we've already got the announcement that King the Conqueror is going to be one of our next big
Yes.
villains, right?
Yeah.
King the Conqueror is basically a time traveler, right?
Right.
And one of his big things is, going to stop the Avengers because they've had too much fuckery with the timeline and stuff like that. So one of the things that they had, and again, insight into comics and stuff, anybody could look this up and get this information. But my speculation was he actually has a son who is Iron Lad from the Young Avengers.
Right.
Um, and that was kind of like where I was with it. But the only thing that I feel like would make this not a thing
Yeah.
is because we're already getting Ironheart. We're
Yeah.
getting Riri Williams.
I was waiting to
Uh,
see if you
mhm.
remembered that because that 100%
Yeah,
I think shuts down Iron Lad.
exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as I know, like they could just, reference him, or maybe he could pop up to be like our red herring,
Right.
young Avenger or something like that. Because I mean, like, yes, we already know we're getting Miss Marvel. We already know that we're getting. Holy crap! I forgot the Hawkeye's name.
Oh,
Um,
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop. We're
Yeah.
getting Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye show.
Yeah.
And like we said, we're getting Riri Williams. So like, this phase is definitely like if they're not planning a big Young Avengers thing, like shame on them, right?
Right.
Like
And
they set all the pieces up, like they should do it.
I think it's very obvious now for those
Hmm.
who know. I think they know, and basically that is the
Hmm.
comic book readers who are familiar with
Yeah.
them. Now,
Hmm.
like our buddy Mike, he mentioned this is Big Mike from Kapow Castro.
Right.
He mentioned Champions is also, if they don't call them Young Avengers, that the team
Mm-hmm.
build has been kind of known as Champions too. So that might
Right.
be, but I think with
Yeah.
the Avengers being such a marquee name, I think a Young Avengers or New Avengers, I think they're going to keep the Avengers title. But yeah,
You know,
uh,
honestly, I think what would be pretty good and kind of funny, but would work well, is if like they kind of come together, um, and they don't have a name, so like people just keep calling them Young Avengers, but they don't
oh,
like necessarily want to be called Young Avengers, and then by the end of it, they just end up naming their team like the Champions or something.
no, yeah, yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that, and like that would,
yeah.
I think that would also factor in how much involved like Sam's gonna be with them. Will he
Hmm.
be kind of the get that moment where like I think it was in the end of Civil War where
Hmm.
Cap came out and had all the new recruits that joined up with the Avengers kind of moment,
Hmm.
and it would just be like Falcon like, all right, Avengers assemble, like the big moment
Hmm.
that none of the kids are paying attention to them, like on their phones or just fighting with each other, doing doing
Yeah.
whatever young
Oh
teens
yeah.
do these days. Kind of be
Perfect.
a yeah. It'd be interesting to see, but at the same time, like again, I like that the prospect of Young Avengers is what I want from the next phases
Hmm.
because there's still
Right.
a lot of people who are like, oh, have you heard rumor that Chris Evans is going to come back as Cap? I'm like, I don't fucking want that to be true.
Yeah.
I want
Exactly.
moving forward. I want new heroes, and
Hmm.
they got them. They got new, young, varied heroes. And even if they are
Right.
kind of like in the how Teen Titans were the sidekicks to the Justice League. These aren't maybe not necessarily all sidekicks, but it is that next generation, and that's what I want for the next. Even though they're not doing another
Hmm.
10-year arc for the next 5 or whatever they end up doing, yeah, build up new heroes. They're like, can you even make a Marvel movie without Iron Man, without Cap, without Thor? I'm like, absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
because Guardians of the Galaxy, no one gave a shit about that comic,
Hmm.
until that movie dropped. No one heard it. A lot of people hadn't even heard of that comic until
Right.
it dropped, and they made these characters now household names. They can do it
Mhm.
again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Easily. Like with the right writer and good enough imagination, they could like promote or sell like any character. Honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Except Beta Ray Bill.
My Oh, fuck you.
That's just not happening.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, we're gonna finally get it, but all it's gonna be is an alternate reality of Thor for like
Oh,
half a minute. I
actually,
swear to
I
God.
was just thinking that. What if he's a variant?
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, that's what is going to happen. Like, I'm not gonna get like a Beta Ray Bill, just in general. Like, it's not. I'm not gonna get it.
Dude,
Never gonna get it.
hey, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Yeah, that's an Vogue song for you. Um, yeah, well, there's still hold out for Love and Thunder, maybe.
No, that's where it's gonna happen. Like I'm
Oh,
telling you.
I thought you mean
Like,
like in this show. Like we might
oh,
see, they might tease him yet again in
right.
Loki as like
Yeah.
maybe he like could just see without getting into too much of what can be done in this show.
Right, right.
Him looking at the other alternate possibilities in the world to find alternate Thors out
I
there.
mean, no, it would be even better, and it would be even more of a slap in the face if like they have a Beta Ray Bill version of Loki that they bring in, and then I would be like, well, fuck me then, I guess.
I'll just fuck right off out of this. All right.
So my other thought and speculation for this show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I could be off base with this one easily.
Right.
It's just kind of like I don't know. It's something that I had because Tom Hiddleston Loki has been with us since phase one, right?
Right.
And they're kind of getting to this point where they're sort of like, aside from a couple of characters, sort of phasing out their phase one
Right.
characters in a way. And with there being like the potential of alternate realities, multiple timelines, yada yada yada. Um, I almost want to say, and like this kind of goes along with like Kid Loki being possibly on the table,
Right.
is we might just be getting like a new actor for Loki.
Oh no,
Is
absolutely. If
Yeah,
it is Kid Loki, it ain't gonna be Hiddleston like head on a
yeah,
child body or anything. Like yeah,
yeah.
it would go in line like yeah with
Oh
a
yeah.
new casting, a fresh young
Hmm.
actor for it, which who I would that's tough shoes to follow, but
Oh yeah.
I'd love to see the actor who could pull that off, and I'm sure I have absolute faith in
Hmm.
Marvel in casting it.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, like in my mind, it just makes sense because, with WandaVision, it was all about like um, bringing up and building Wanda's character because, like, she wasn't in the series until Avengers 2, so it
Yeah,
feels like she still has time left in the
yeah,
series.
yeah.
And then Falcon Winter Soldier, those characters haven't been in super long, and it was like building Sam up to take on the role of Captain America.
Right.
So it just seems kind of interesting and appropriate because there's no major changes I feel like that you can do with Loki that would advance him in the MCU other than like changing him into this like kind of different character, right?
Right.
Like different version of his character.
Yeah,
So,
which is what I think. Much like how
mhm,
WandaVision was a bringing us back Vision, but also
mhm,
getting Wanda to her comic book level power.
yeah.
This is gonna be the next evolution for Loki because
Mhm,
obviously he's important enough to justify his own series, which means and
mhm,
they've said the fallout of the show is going to directly be connected to the next MCU films, and most likely, I mean, we still have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of
mhm,
Madness,
yeah.
and we brought up Kang the Conqueror, who's going to debut in the next Ant Man and Wasp film,
Right.
Quantum Mania, I believe is what they're called.
Quantumania.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So, like, if I think we're going to see Kane, even if it's only a tease at the end. And
Mhm,
I think, and I think that's going to tie in directly with the multiverse thing. Well, multiverse is different from alternate timeline, but it can still also
mhm.
maybe see some repercussions from what's going on
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the Doctor Strange film. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be important. This show is
Mhm,
as equally important as any MCU film in driving the narrative forward, and it's
mhm.
100% living up to the quality. And I can't wait for 4 more weeks when we can talk about it fully.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And it's like I think I kind of did the math, and this is gonna be ending as soon as Black Widow hits theaters.
Yeah.
And then I think how the timeline is after Black Widow, maybe a couple weeks after that, we're going to get the What If series.
Right.
And I'm still kind of like I'm not on the fence about the show at all. I'm definitely gonna watch it, but I'm still trying to like figure out in my head like how it's gonna be. And the best way I could think to put it, because I don't think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be an anthology series like
Yeah.
Love, Death, and Robots, basically.
Absolutely.
Like you're gonna get a bunch of different like animation teams and voice actors and stuff, and they're all gonna be like responsible for doing their own little one-off like episode.
Right.
Is pretty much how I'm thinking it's gonna be, which I am totally down for. Love, Death, and Robots was awesome, and that fucking second season was way too short.
Yeah, it was.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think what if now it would be interesting because I think this is going to be the first project that doesn't necessarily because of its nature of it being what if alternate
Mhm.
reality stuff. I doubt any of it were really tied to MCU. They could of course surprise me, but it would be interesting if we get the animated debut of some characters
Yeah.
before they appear on the live screen.
Well, so you say not super tied into the MCU, but everything that we're seeing around it is kind of contrary to that, right? Because it's all about different universes and timelines, which is what Loki
Yeah,
is like
I mean
kind of
that's fair.
directly about. Yeah, and then Multiverse of Madness and all
Yeah,
that. So I don't see any reason why like it can't be stories based off of the events that happen in some of these. And I mean, of course, a what if is always like,
right.
what if Spider-Man had his powers were more anatomically correct to a spider and he shot webs out of his ass or something.
Right. Well, like
Um,
for me, what it is like one of the few stories that I've seen, at least that they've announced or shown what it's
yeah.
going to do. One of the big
Mhm.
ones is what if Peggy Carter took the super soldier serum and became Captain Britain?
Right.
Now, as much as
Yes.
I would love to see that actress in a skin tight suit, I just don't
Yeah.
see that transition into the live action. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. But again, we don't know what all stories they're bringing, and they could directly, yeah, they could translate. But it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, honestly, I'm stoked to see Peggy Carter as
yeah,
Captain America. I
oh,
think that's gonna
absolutely,
be, and honestly, like I don't even know that because I want to say that's been a thing that they've done before in the comics, but I don't remember if she's called Captain America. But
oh,
then they also have T'Challa being Star Lord, and then of course Marvel Zombies, which is like a big popular alternate
oh
universe.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So man, yeah, I am pretty stoked about it. There's so much out there, so many possibilities that we can get. You know, we could honestly keep speculating about what Loki could do to the universe, as a whole with the time travel and all that stuff. And we could throw out something crazy like, oh, mutants. But I think at this point, for the shows at least, we've noticed that it's more about advancing the main characters we have and like what their bigger role is going to be in the MCU moving forward. So I kind of like how they sort of tapered our expectations with WandaVision.
Right.
People are still really salty about like, oh, we thought this was going to bring mutants into the MCU, and it's like, no, dude, it's called WandaVision.
Yeah. Now here is like real quick. We are already past time, which is fine, but like what we normally keep it to. But the thing with this, especially if our mutual kid Loki theory that we have comes to pass, that means it would be a recasting, which means like for the first time, the show. I think it wouldn't be outside the realm for this show to introduce like maybe even if it's only like one other character. Now I'm not saying the mutants or anything, but like because we don't have to worry about pushing Tom Hiddleston's Loki if we're right at all. We could 100% be off kilter because it's a recasting and that will advance Loki, but it may also introduce another character, some other character into the, not just like someone announced. Like we may get a surprise debut, and with the alternate realities and possibilities, plus what we and. No, I was about to say something. Can't say it. No. Okay, let's go ahead and call it. Let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. Or you guys
hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and cast this kid Loki. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think it is gonna be Tom Holland in a mustache.
Y'all, if you've enjoyed listening to our show, we sincerely appreciate every one of you.
It's alternate universe. Tom Holland is Loki.
It's the evil version, like Spock and Kirk and Star Trek, where they had the goatees.
I mean, obviously he's a Loki.
Like, comment, subscribe. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace.